Ever wonder about that invisible force that keeps your feet planted firmly on the ground, but also keeps entire planets spinning in their orbits? Today, we're taking a quick look at gravitation. It's the unseen cosmic glue that, well, holds literally everything together.
I mean, really think about it. What invisible string is holding the moon up there, making sure it circles the Earth perfectly? And what makes an apple fall from a tree? Turns out, it's the exact same force. We're talking about gravity, of course, and we're about to unravel some of its biggest secrets.
Okay, so before we even get to planets and stars, let's start with a really basic idea. You see, anything moving in a circle needs some kind of force that's constantly yanking it toward the center. Without that glue, it would just shoot off in a straight line into space. Well, that force has a name: centripetal force. And a great way to picture it is to imagine you're swinging a stone on a string. You feel that tension in the string, right? The constant pull keeping the stone from flying away. That's it. That is the centripetal force. For something like the moon, gravity is that invisible string, always pulling it toward the Earth. Now, way before we had super powerful telescopes, there was this brilliant astronomer named Johannes Kepler. And just by meticulously watching the sky, he figured out the fundamental rules for how planets travel through space. It's pretty incredible stuff. So Kepler gave us 3 game-changing laws. First, he realized that planets don't travel in perfect circles, but in ovals, or ellipses. Second, they actually speed up when they get closer to the sun and slow way down when they're farther away. And third, the farther a planet is from the sun, the longer its year is going to be. Super simple, totally elegant, and it completely changed how we see the solar system. Okay, so Kepler told us how the planets move. But the big question was still, why? Well, that's where Isaac Newton comes in. He's the one who connected the force pulling an apple to the ground with the force holding the moon in its orbit, and he rolled it all into one single universal law. And this is the mind-blowing part. Newton's big insight was that gravity isn't just some special thing that Earth has. Nope. Every single object that has mass, from you to your phone to a distant star, is pulling on every other object. That means you are, right now, literally pulling the sun towards you, just a tiny, tiny bit. And here it is, the beautiful math that explains it all. Don't let it scare you. It's actually pretty simple. The force of gravity, that's F, just depends on the masses of the two objects, M1 and M2, and how far apart they are, which is D. That G is just a special number, the gravitational constant, that makes the whole equation work, no matter where you are in the universe. So, what does that equation really mean for us? It boils down to 2 simple things. First, more mass means more gravity. It's why we're stuck to the Earth and not, say, a lamppost. And second, the farther apart things get, the weaker the force becomes. And it gets weaker fast. If you double the distance, the gravitational force drops down to just 1/4 of what it was. Okay, so let's bring all these big cosmic ideas right back down to Earth, because this is where we need to clear up one of the most common mix-ups in all of science, the difference between mass and weight. All right, listen up. Your mass is the amount of stuff you're made of. It's measured in kilograms, and it is the same everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're on Earth, the moon, or Mars, your mass doesn't change. Your weight, though, is totally different. That's the force of gravity pulling on your mass. So on the moon, where the gravity is weaker, your mass is exactly the same, but you'd weigh only about 1/6 of what you do here.
This brings us to that classic brain teaser. If you're in a vacuum, so no air resistance, a feather and a bowling ball will hit the ground at the exact same time. How is that possible? Well, it's true that the Earth pulls on the heavy bowling ball with a lot more force, but the ball's extra mass also makes it harder to get moving. And it turns out those 2 effects cancel each other out perfectly, so everything accelerates toward the ground at the exact same rate. And get this, even here on our own planet, gravity isn't perfectly constant. Our planet isn't a perfect sphere. It kind of bulges at the equator. This means you actually weigh a tiny bit more at the North or South Pole because you're closer to the Earth's center. Gravity also gets weaker the higher up you go on a mountain or even the deeper you dig down into a mine. So if the Earth is constantly pulling us down, how in the world do we ever get rockets into space? Well, it turns out the secret isn't just about raw power. It's about hitting one very specific, very incredible speed. It's called escape velocity. You can think of it as the ultimate getaway speed. You have to be going fast enough so that even though gravity is still trying to pull you back, it just can't slow you down enough to stop you.
You just keep on coasting, right out into space. And for our planet Earth, that magic number is a mind-boggling 11.2 kilometers per second. That's over 40,000 kilometers an hour. Hitting that speed is what lets our spacecraft finally break free from Earth's grip and go explore the rest of the solar system. So there you have it. From Kepler's simple ovals to Newton's universal law, we see how gravity is the master architect of our cosmos. It's the force that binds us to our world, but here's the beautiful irony. Understanding it is exactly what gives us the power to leave. The real question isn't if we can escape its pull, but where that escape will take us next.